know the river knows breezy air. The river knows, baby, but the river, it don't care. Water flows just like wine. Some of it's yours and some of it's mine. You can stay behind, maybe take a dare. Either way you go, the river, it don't care. The river's gotta go just where it's gotta go, starting way up high and way down low. What it's gonna do next, well, I don't know. And the river, it don't care. So build your house, build your town. Act like you're standing on solid ground. You can talk real tough or sit and stare. Either way you go, the river, it don't care. When the flood comes, and it always will, dirty water lapping at your windowsill, you can stay real still, maybe send up flares. Cry if you want to, the river, it don't care. River's been a-rolling for 1,000 years, filled with snow and rain and tears. It'll fill you with love, it'll fill you with fear. The river, it don't care. What'll be here 1,000 years from now? We may be, but I can't say how. And if we're not, well, it's only fair. The river's gonna be here, baby, but the river won't care. The river's been a-rolling for 1,000 years, filled with snow and rain and tears. It'll fill you with love, it'll fill you with fear. The river, it don't care. Exhale. Hey everybody, happy Sunday afternoon. Hope you're all doing well. See a bunch of people tuning in. Thank you so much. Hi Janice. Hey Susie Sutherland, how you doing? Good to see you, even if it's just on the internet. Alright, let me get all the pieces and parts running here, if I can. Cool. Turn that off so I can't hear the sound. Cool. Alrighty. Whew. Well, we were going to do this outside today, or at least it was my hope that we were going to do it outside, but it's April in Colorado, which means it went from being 75 degrees and beautiful this morning to less so this afternoon, or at least not super conducive to an outdoor show. So here we are in the basement against the black backdrop to hopefully look a little squared away. I don't know. All this live streaming stuff is kind of new. So we're all just figuring it out as it goes. Anyway, great to see you all. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. I really appreciate it. That first song was off my first record, a song called The River Don't Care, which I wrote in 2013 after flooding here in Lyons. I kind of thought maybe I was only going to live through one major disaster in my lifetime, but apparently not. So here we are. I hope you're all well this week. As Todd Snyder would say, if all goes as expected, you can expect about a 55-minute distraction from your impending doom. So, hey Bruce, how are you doing? Good to see you, man. Thanks so much for tuning in. All right. We do some covers. Keep trying to pick some new, interesting covers. Try not to repeat anything in these live shows since I'm only doing hour sets. So, that's the way it goes. Anyway, this song was written by a guy who's now really famous, but he wasn't so famous when he wrote this song. He was with a band, bluegrass band called the Steel Drivers, and now he's famous all by himself. But I do love this song. I copped it off a Steel Drivers album, so I sort of think of it as a Steel Driver song. But this was written by Chris Stapleton. Hitchhiked to Birmingham if it hadn't been for love. Never would have took the train to Louisiana if it hadn't been for love. Never would have run through the blinding rain without $1 to my name if it hadn't been, if it hadn't been for love. Seen the trouble that I'm in if it hadn't been for love. Would have been gone like a wayward wind if it hadn't been for love. Nobody knows it better than me. I wouldn't be wishing I was free if it hadn't been, if it hadn't been for love. For I know she's lying still. For cause without parole. Lord have mercy on my soul. Never would have gone to that side of town hadn't been for love. Never would have took the mind to track her down if it hadn't been for love. Never would have loaded up a 44, got myself behind a jailhouse door if it hadn't been, if it hadn't been for love. For Lord have mercy on my soul. For cause again I will. At least I know she's lying still. Never should have hitchhiked to Birmingham if it hadn't been for love. Never would have took the train to Louisiana if it hadn't been for love. Never would have run through the blinding rain without $1 to my name if it hadn't been, if it hadn't been for love. If it hadn't been, if it hadn't been for love. If it hadn't been for love. Yeah. Hey, everybody just joining in. Hey, Jill Priest, good to see you. Good to see everybody else. Cool. That was a Chris Stapleton song for those of you keeping score in the bleachers. Do love playing his songs. That guy has amazing vocal talent. Pretty good songwriter too. Alright, this is another song off my first record, but this comes with a little side note. I wrote this song a bunch of years ago after listening to a Justin Townes Earle song called My Mother's Eyes, which is a beautiful song and I recommend you look it up. But I was sitting at my desk and I was listening to that song, and I'm often inspired by other songs. And I was thinking about what would it be like to be Justin Townes Earle, who's, you know, Steve Earle's kid. And then I was thinking about some of the other famous people, musicians mainly, who are, you know, the sons and daughters of very famous musicians. And what would it be like to live with that? And I'm a fan of Americana in the broadest sense in terms of music. And so I wrote this song called John Henry's Son. Sort of riffing on the John Henry myth, thinking about what would that be like, but I need to put a caveat in there. I do love playing this song, but I have rewritten the chorus since I recorded that album, which people later told me is not something you're supposed to do, but you know, whatever. So this comes with a different chorus than on the record. Maybe someday I'll record it again. Father, I am my father's son. That ain't the kind of thing that's easy to live with when the working day is done. I don't know if it was worse to wish him dead. Miss him now that he's gone. But you don't ever get to pick your father, and he never picked his son. Yes, he was a steel-driving bastard. That part of the story is true. Did you ever think what a bastard is like when you're only a child of two? Never gave me more than the back of his hand. I wanted a father, I wanted a friend. But if your father's a legend, you're just a kid. Well, there ain't a damn thing you can do. Someone's always saying it must be so much fun when you're staring down the barrel of a loaded gun. Weight of the past is measured in tons, tied with a lock that can't be undone. Always searching for some way out, all tied down with the fear and the doubt. Running a race that can't be won. You're living your life as John Henry's son. Living with a legend just ain't much fun. I can still hear the ring of that hammer swing a pretty fair hammer. Learned a couple of other things too. But I can't compete with a man who's dead no matter what I do. I don't mean to sound so down and out. When I was younger I would cry and shout. Now I walk with ghosts and I live with the doubt, because there ain't nothing else to do. Someone's always saying it must be so much fun when you're staring down the barrel of a loaded gun. The weight of the past is measured in time, tied with a lock that can't be undone. Always searching for some way out, all tied down with the fear and the doubt. Running a race that can't be won. You're living your life as John Henry's son. John Henry was my father. Whew. All right. And 3 songs in, it's time to tune the guitar again. Try and stay in tune here. Try and act like we know what we're doing. Ooh, all right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're new to this little bit of public programming, please weigh in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from. I don't see everybody's comments while I'm playing, but I'll go back later and check in with everybody who checked in. So I would love to hear from everybody and where you coming from on this Sunday afternoon. Alright, this next song is by another songwriter I dearly love. A whole lot of what I am as a musician comes from a guy named Steve Earle, one way or another. I was in late high school when that first record came out in the 80s. And I was like, oh, wow. There was such a great combination of music and rock, country and rock and songwriting. Anyway, this song was kind of a hit in the 90s. It came off Steve Earle's Train a Comin' album, which was his comeback album after being to prison and all that. But it was covered by a guy named Travis Tritt, who's still around but not nearly as famous as he was in the 90s. He was a big mainstream country star in the 90s, so he had a video with this song and all that kind of thing. But I always like Steve Earle's version better. If you see her out tonight, she tells you it's just the lights that bring her here, and not her loneliness. That's what she says, boy, but sometimes she forgets. If she tells you she don't need a man, she's had all the comfort she can stand. You best believe every word that she says. But don't give up, boy, 'cause sometimes she forgets. Sometimes she forgets that not too long ago she swore she wasn't gonna let her heart get broken anymore. So now she keeps it locked away, and it grows colder every day, and it won't warm to any man's caress. That's what she says, boy, but sometimes she forgets. Sometimes she forgets that not too long ago she swore she wasn't gonna let her heart get broken anymore. So now she keeps it locked away. It grows colder every day, and it won't warm to any man's caress. That's what she says, boy, but sometimes she forgets. So don't give up, boy, 'cause sometimes she forgets. That's what she says, boy, but sometimes she forgets. Ooh, all right, Steve Earle cover there for you. I do love that song. It's been fun to play. I haven't played it in a while. It's been fun to break that out. Thank you to everybody joining in. We realized last time we did this that we had a little sign and it was backwards so nobody could read what was on the sign. So I just put a comment in the event today. If you want to support musicians in this weird time where nobody's out playing live gigs and people aren't driving around the country like they were just 60 days ago, the number one thing you can do is go to your favorite band, your favorite artist website and buy their stuff. That's the number one thing you can do to support artists right now. But also there are some organizations that are working really hard to support musicians right now in a bunch of different ways, and I put links to 3 of them in the comments section on the event today. There's the Musicians Foundation, which is a national organization musicians can apply to for some relief in unusual circumstances. That certainly qualifies. The Bohemian Foundation, which is a Northern Colorado organization out of Fort Collins, and they have a fund for musicians that's helping musicians right now. And then Rocky Mountain Music Relief Organization, which is also a North Central Colorado organization, is helping musicians. So please help musicians. If you want to throw money at me, that's totally cool. I'm all for it. But the number one thing you can do is go to my website. The link's there, jstott.com. Pre-order some stuff. We got new record coming out here in May. There's already a single on Spotify. There'll be a new single on Spotify on Friday. I think that'll be out. Ah, my God, this is totally not professional. There we go. Here we go. Ooh, new record coming out. There you go. Wreckage Now coming out soon. Thank you so much for all the people that ordered stuff last time. I'm actually just waiting on a shipment of t-shirts. As soon as the t-shirts come in, I'm going to start shipping things. So some of you are going to get a little surprise a little bit earlier than I promised, which is, you know, right? Under promise, over deliver. Isn't that the way to run a business? Anyway, we got some new stickers, right? If you order stuff, I'll throw some stickers in. They're on the website. Check them out. Cool. That's the business pitch for the day. I'm not going to do that again. But I'm going to play some songs from the new album. So this song's been around a while. If Levere, if you're still watching, I think you'll remember this song. I was an old drummer of mine watching at least a couple minutes ago, so I hope he's still there. He'll probably remember this song. I wrote this song because I, like most men, am not super comfortable dancing. So I wrote a song about it. Well, I guess I gotta tell you, baby, never did learn how to dance. Most of high school, leaning on a wall with my thumbs hooked in my pants. Some little girl would say, oh, baby, please. I'd turn green, get weak in the knees. And now I'm telling you, baby, I can't dance. Maybe it's 'cause I never really had it in me. Every time I a guy who really, really had to pee. I'd try swaying from left to right, concerned bystanders as if I was alright. And baby, I never really had it in me. All you fellas who can dance always get the girl. Now that's a skill that take you all around the world. I ain't saying there's no hope for me yet, but I can't recommend you take that bet. And baby, that's the reason that I learned to play the guitar. Something cool that I could do while standing around in a bar. All you folks are looking good, doing that thing that I never could. And I'm telling you, baby, that's why I'm playing guitar. All you fellas who can dance always get the girl. Now that's a skill that take you all around the world. I ain't saying no hope for me yet, but I can't recommend you take that bet. And baby, telling you I can't dance. Every time I try, I look like a guy who's got ants stuck in his pants. All you folks are looking good, doing that thing that I never could. And I'm telling you, baby, I can't dance. I'm telling you, baby, I really, really, really can't dance. I'm telling you, baby, I really, really, not a damn bit can dance. There you go. We had so much fun recording that song for the new record. Can't wait for y'all to hear it. My wife is telling you it's true. She's weighing in there. She knows. She knows the truth. All right. Let me tune this thing again. Oh, I promised in the commercials some bad jokes. Y'all know how we stop a bear from charging? You know, I used to be an Alaskan guide. I am literally trained in this kind of thing. So, you stop a bear from charging by taking his credit cards away. I know, it's a terrible joke, but you know. Alrighty. Let's make up for that silly song with a serious song. Another one of my favorite songwriters is Townes Van Zandt. Great songwriter. And you know that thing's been going around where people challenge someone to do 10 days 10 album covers. Everybody I know has been doing it. Well, it finally made it to me today. My sister weighed in and challenged me. But it's funny, I was already thinking about that this week because this song actually I heard this song very early on. My dad had the Merle and Willie 8-track. And I remember listening to this song in the car when I was like 8 or 9 or 10 on 8-track. So there you go. Anyway, but it wasn't written by Merle and Willie. This song was written by Townes Van Zandt. It's a beautiful song. I love singing it. So you're probably going to recognize it before I get in there. Yeah, hey Susie, good. I'm glad you had an Alaska flashback, right? Just remember, when it comes to bears, I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun the guests. So that's the rule of being a guide. gonna keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, your brother's hard as kerosene. Weren't your mama's only boy, but her favorite one it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye. Slipped into your dream. Pancho was a bandit then, made of polished steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his end, you know, on the deserts down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying words. Oh, but that's the way it goes. All the federales say could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night like he used to. The dust that Pancho bit down south ended up and left his mouth. On the day they laid Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. No one ever knows. All the federales say could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. Poets tell how Pancho fell. Lefty lives in a cheap hotel. The desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold. So the story ends, we're told. Say some prayers for Pancho true. Save a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do. Now he's growing old. All the federales say could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. A few great federales say could have had him any day. Only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night like he used to. The dust that Pancho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. Townes Van Zandt. I do love playing that song. Thank you all so much for listening. All right, we got about 3 songs left here, something like that anyway. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I see various people checking in. Thank you so much. Please leave a note. Tell us where you're listening from. Love to hear from you. All right, this is another song from the new record. Another song we had a lot of fun recording. As I'm playing it, if you imagine it louder and faster, you'll be close to what it's going to sound like on the record. But if you need a drinking song, I think this is probably for you. Whew. Here you go. Song about getting in trouble. All right. Well, we're going to switch instruments of destruction here. Give a little bit of a change up today. Make sure this beast is in tune. I mentioned a little while ago there's some links to some organizations helping musicians in the comments of the event on my Facebook page. If you're looking for a way to help musicians, number one thing you can do is go buy their stuff. Buy a t-shirt, buy a record, buy a CD, buy some stickers, buy some vinyl, buy a poster. I know a lot of people do handwritten lyrics. Nobody wants my handwriting, so I'm not doing that. Believe me, nobody can read my handwriting, so... wrote a while ago. Hopefully it'll end up on a record someday. It's called One Angel Wing. You very far. It ain't half as good as a getaway car. Wherever you are, flapping that one old angel wing. One angel wing is sort of unfair. It feels like a stop that won't move enough air. It looks kinda cool, but nobody cares about that sorry old angel wing. One angel wing is have a hope down in the alley searching for dope. It sure won't help you when you're swinging from a rope. Flapping that one old angel wing. I used to have two, but there's only one left. I'm the victim of bad judgment or maybe just theft. I'm sitting on the curb, crying and bereft, worrying about the loss of that one old angel wing. I used to be known as the guy who could fly. Now I can't get off the ground no matter how hard I try. Nobody even looks when I walk by, dragging that sorry old angel wing. All right, there you go. A little bit of resonator guitar for you this afternoon. Oh, switch back to the other one. Them some mean strings on that resonator. My fingers aren't in that good a shape. Hey folks, I'm seeing all the people weighing in. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's great to see you all. We got a couple songs left here. Please weigh in the comments. Tell me where you're from. Tell me how your day's going. Tell me how long it's been since you wore actual pants, you know, whatever. No one's judging here. We're all living with it together. All right, I mentioned last time we did this, I actually grew up outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that kind of features heavily in some of my songwriting. So this is a song based on growing up in a place with a lot of rivers and bridges. Tonight I'm crossing the river to St. Paul. The dark and rushing water don't scare me at all. No idea what I find there, no idea at all. There's a voice in my ear and I can't ignore its call. Since I was a boy, it's been whispering my name. No one else could hear it, but it whispers I won't bother asking why, but now we're chasing what money won't buy. And I'm real sorry to leave you behind. Don't mean to be cruel or seem unkind. If I could, I'd be inclined, but I gotta keep moving on down the line. Those of us who hear the call keep moving around the bend. That road we're on, it just don't end. Chasing the dream, losing money, loving friends. That road we're on, it just don't end. Quiet of the car, my mind slips away. Those people in their beds, I wonder what they'd say. Oh, my mama knows all she can do is pray. If she's lucky, I'll be back someday. The tires hum, the water's dark and close. The voice so far away, maybe it goes. Something strange is in me, but I'm just the host. If the bridge don't get me there, I'll be headed for the coast. Those of us who hear the call keep moving around the bend. That road we're on, it just don't end. Chasing the dream, losing money, loving friends. That road we're on, it just don't end. Whew. All right, a little honky tonk for you there. All right, we're gonna do one more song here before we're done. I keep looking for some covers that'll finish us out well. Let me retune with this device strapped to my guitar. I don't know if you're in a sing-along move, but you're probably going to know the chorus to this one. By another songwriter I love very much, major rock star, Mr. Bruce Springsteen. This is a Springsteen song. You probably know it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's really wonderful. Go out and support your local musicians one way or another. Throw a couple bucks in their tip jar, buy some of their stuff. Do some of that for them. Hope you have a great Sunday evening and a great rest of your week. Be safe and be well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here I am back in Kingstown again. Everybody's got a hungry heart. Everybody's got a hungry heart. Lay down your money and you take your part. Everybody's got a hungry heart. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been great to hear from you all. I hope you have a great evening. Be safe and be well. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll do it again. All right? Take it easy. Thanks so much.